What if I told you that at this very moment urgent messages are being transmitted directly to human consciousness by advanced civilizations that inhabit the stars? Have you ever stopped to think about why so many people around the world are reporting similar experiences of telepathic contact with extraterrestrial beings who speak about drastic changes happening on our planet? Curiosity about these phenomena has led researchers to document hundreds of cases where ordinary individuals receive complex information about a supposed planetary transition that would be occurring right now. The mystery deepens when we discover that these channeled messages, coming from different continents and cultures, present impressive consistency in their main contents. Today we will explore the most documented and intriguing channeling sessions of recent years, where supposed representatives of different extraterrestrial lineages warn humanity about a crucial period of transformation that our civilization would be going through. Prepare yourself for a journey through accounts that challenge our understanding about reality, consciousness, and our true place in the cosmos. What makes these cases even more fascinating is that many of the channelers have never had contact with each other, live in different countries and distinct cultural backgrounds, but receive surprisingly similar information about the same cosmic events. Is it coincidence or evidence of something much greater happening behind the scenes of reality? Barbara Marciniak, born in the United States, became one of the most recognized voices in the field of extraterrestrial channeling when she began receiving messages from a collective of beings identified as Pleiadians in 1988. According to her accounts, these beings come from the stellar system of the Pleiades and possess a deep ancestral connection with terrestrial humanity. The Pleiadian messages through Marciniak describe our current era as a period of unprecedented evolutionary acceleration in human history. The Pleiadians explain that Earth is going through a fundamental vibrational change that will affect not only our planet, but the entire solar system. They describe this process as a cosmic graduation, where humanity must choose between evolving to a multidimensional consciousness or remaining trapped in limiting third-dimensional patterns. One of the most impactful revelations transmitted by these beings is about the artificial nature of many control structures in our society. The Pleiadians claim that extra-dimensional forces have manipulated human evolution for millennia, but that this cycle of interference is coming to an end due to the ongoing planetary energetic changes. According to Marciniak's channeling sessions, the Pleiadians emphasize that each human being possesses dormant genetic codes that are being activated by new cosmic frequencies arriving on Earth. This process of genetic activation would allow humans to develop telepathic abilities, clairvoyance, and direct connection with higher dimensions of consciousness. The most intriguing aspect of these messages is their insistence that planetary transformation is not optional, but a natural process of the cosmos that occurs in regular cycles. The Pleiadians describe how civilizations throughout the galaxy go through these evolutionary transitions, and that Earth has finally reached its moment of cosmic graduation. Patricia Corey, American writer and channeler, established contact with beings who identify themselves as the Arcturian Council, originating from the stellar system of Arcturus. Her messages began to be received in the late 1990s and present a unique perspective on the planetary transition events we would be experiencing. The Arcturians, through Corey, describe themselves as a civilization that has already gone through the same process of dimensional ascension that Earth is currently experiencing. They explain that they serve as guides and mentors for planets in transition, offering wisdom based on their own evolutionary experience. One of the most significant revelations of the Arcturians is about the multidimensional nature of terrestrial reality. They explain that our three-dimensional perception is only one layer of a much more complex and interconnected reality. During planetary transition, the veils between dimensions would be becoming thinner, allowing greater interaction between different levels of consciousness. The beings from Arcturus warn about specific challenges that humanity will face during this period of change. They describe geophysical turbulence, extreme climate changes, and social instability as natural symptoms of the transition process. However, they emphasize that these events are not punishments, but rather symptoms of a planet that is literally changing its vibrational frequency. According to Corey's channeling sessions, the Arcturians reveal that our civilization is being observed and assisted by a confederation of advanced stellar species. This cosmic alliance would be coordinating efforts to ensure that Earth's transition occurs with minimum possible trauma to conscious life on the planet. The most fascinating aspect of Arcturian messages is their description of how human collective consciousness is being gradually prepared to accept expanded realities. They explain that phenomena like UFO sightings, contact experiences, and mass spiritual awakenings are part of a carefully orchestrated program of cosmic acclimatization. Sheldon Neidl, American channeler, claims to maintain regular contact with representatives of the Galactic Federation of Light, particularly with beings originating from the stellar system of Sirius. His channeling sessions, initiated in the 1990s, present detailed information about a cosmic plan of planetary transformation that would be currently being implemented. The Sirians, through Neidl, describe themselves as part of a vast intergalactic alliance dedicated to assisting civilizations in process of dimensional ascension. They explain that Earth was placed in quarantine thousands of years ago due to interference from destructive forces, but that this quarantine is being gradually removed as humanity demonstrates readiness for cosmic reintegration. One of the most extraordinary revelations of the Sirians is about the true history of humanity. They claim that our species was genetically modified by different extraterrestrial groups throughout history, resulting in a unique evolutionary potential that is being activated during the current planetary transition. Sirian messages describe a specific timeline of events that would culminate in complete transformation of terrestrial civilization. They speak about imminent governmental revelations about extraterrestrial presence, collapse of obsolete financial systems, and establishment of advanced technologies that would completely revolutionize our society. According to Neidl, the Sirians emphasize that planetary transition involves not only spiritual changes, but also literal physical transformations. They describe how the molecular structure of terrestrial matter is being altered to accommodate higher dimensional frequencies, preparing the planet for a new physical reality. The most intriguing aspect of these channeling sessions is their insistence that transformation has already begun and is irreversible. The Sirians, through Neidl, claim that visible events on the surface represent only the tip of the iceberg of much deeper changes occurring at energetic and dimensional levels of terrestrial reality. J.Z. Knight, American channeler, became worldwide known for channeling an entity that identifies itself as Ramtha, allegedly an ascended being who lived on Earth 35,000 years ago. Although technically not extraterrestrial, Ramtha presents perspectives on planetary transition that remarkably complement messages of stellar origin. Ramtha, through Knight, describes the current era as the end of a great cosmic cycle that would last approximately 25,000 years. This period, known as precession of the equinoxes, would mark not only astronomical changes, but fundamental transformations in planetary consciousness and dimensional structures that sustain physical reality. Ramtha's teachings emphasize that each human being is, in essence, a multidimensional being temporarily focused on three-dimensional experience. During planetary transition, this focalization would be naturally expanding, allowing conscious access to higher aspects of individual identity. One of Ramtha's most significant revelations is about the nature of reality as a field of consciousness in constant creation. He explains that planetary changes reflect changes in human collective consciousness, and that each individual possesses the power to influence the course of transition through their own personal evolution. Ramtha describes future events including dramatic geological changes, alterations in climate patterns, and collapse of obsolete social structures. However, he emphasizes that these events are not inevitable, but probabilities that can be altered through elevation of collective consciousness. The most fascinating aspect of Ramtha's teachings is his perspective that planetary transition represents a unique evolutionary opportunity that occurs only once every 25,000 years. He claims that beings from throughout the galaxy are observing this event with great interest, as its results will affect the evolutionary development of countless other civilizations. Ashtar Command represents perhaps one of the most controversial and widespread sources of messages about planetary transition. Different channelers around the world, including Tuella in the United States, Philippe Francois in France, and various others in countries like Brazil, Germany, and Australia, claim to receive communications from a stellar fleet commanded by a being known as Commander Ashtar. According to these channeling sessions, Ashtar Command would be an interdimensional organization dedicated to monitoring and assisting planets in process of evolutionary ascension. They describe themselves as part of a vast confederation of stellar civilizations that work under guidelines of the universal spiritual hierarchy. Ashtar Command messages present a scenario where Earth is being gradually removed from a cosmic quarantine zone imposed millennia ago due to humanity's destructive behavior. This quarantine removal would be possible due to mass spiritual awakening that would be occurring among human beings. One of the most intriguing aspects of these channeling sessions is their description of a planetary evacuation operation that would be implemented should geophysical changes become too dangerous for human life. Ashtar Command claims to maintain spacecraft in Earth orbit, ready to rescue human populations if necessary. These messages also describe a natural selection process where individuals who manage to raise their vibrational frequency would be automatically protected from the most traumatic aspects of planetary transition. They explain that this protection is not based on moral judgment, but on energetic compatibility with new terrestrial frequencies. Ashtar Command, through multiple channelers, emphasizes that their mission is not to interfere with human free will, but to offer assistance to those who consciously choose to evolve to higher levels of consciousness during this period of cosmic transformation. Nancy Leader, American contactee, claims to maintain regular telepathic communication with extraterrestrial beings who identify themselves as Zetas, originating from the stellar system of Zeta Reticuli. Her messages, initiated in the 1990s, present specific warnings about cataclysmic changes that would be approaching Earth. The Zetas, through Leader, describe the approach of a massive celestial body that would cause extreme gravitational disturbances in our solar system. This event, known as Planet X or Nibiru, would result in dramatic geological changes, including magnetic pole reversals and rearrangement of continental masses. One of the most controversial revelations of the Zetas is about their own nature and mission on Earth. They claim to be a species in reproductive decline that is conducting a hybrid program with human genetic material to preserve valuable evolutionary characteristics of both species. Zeta messages emphasize that ongoing planetary changes are part of natural cycles that occur regularly in the cosmos. They explain that advanced civilizations learn to predict and prepare for these events, while less developed civilizations frequently perish during transitions. According to Leader, the Zetas reveal that terrestrial governmental elite is aware of the approach of these cataclysmic events, but chose to keep the population in ignorance to avoid panic and premature social collapse. This conspiracy of silence would be maintained through systematic disinformation and ridicule of evidence. The most intriguing aspect of Zeta messages is their insistence that survival during planetary transition will depend more on spiritual and communal preparation than on material resources. They emphasize that those who have developed compassion and cooperation will have greater probability of prospering in the new era that will emerge after the changes. Carla Ruckert, American channeler, served as principal channel for a group of entities that identify themselves as Confederation of Planets in service of the infinite creator. Her sessions, conducted together with Don Elkins and Jim McCarty, resulted in the book series known as Raw Material or Law of One. Ra, principal communicator of this confederation, describes itself as a sixth-density social memory complex that seeks to assist Earth during its transition from third to fourth density of consciousness. This transition would be a natural process of planetary evolution that occurs in cycles of approximately 25,000 years. Confederation messages through Ruckert present a complex cosmology where reality is organized in progressively higher densities or dimensions of consciousness. Earth would currently be completing its third density cycle and preparing to graduate to fourth density. One of Raw Material's most significant revelations is about the nature of choice that each human being must make during this transition. Ra explains that individuals must consciously polarize towards service to others or service to self to progress evolutionarily. The Confederation describes how different extraterrestrial groups have influenced terrestrial evolution throughout history, some offering positive assistance, while others interfered negatively in human development. This interference would be coming to an end due to ongoing dimensional changes. Ra through Ruckert emphasizes that planetary transition is not automatic, but requires conscious participation of a critical percentage of human population. They explain that each individual who consciously chooses love and compassion contributes to the success of planetary graduation. Alex Collier, American contactee, claims to maintain regular physical contact with representatives of a civilization originating from Andromeda galaxy. His information, presented in conferences and books, offers a unique perspective on planetary transition events from the viewpoint of an extragalactic civilization. The Andromedans, through Collier, describe Earth as a planet under influence of multiple extraterrestrial agendas, some benevolent and others with questionable intentions. They explain that our galaxy is going through a period of energetic cleansing that will affect all stellar systems and civilizations. One of the most extraordinary Andromedan revelations is about the holographic nature of reality and how it is being reprogrammed during the current transition. They claim that negative groups have manipulated Earth's holographic matrix, but that natural cosmic interferences are restoring original parameters. Andromedan messages describe a specific timeline where revelation and transformation events will accelerate dramatically in coming years. They speak about collapse of artificial control systems and emergence of suppressed technologies that will completely revolutionize human civilization. According to Collier, the Andromedans emphasize that terrestrial humanity possesses unique evolutionary potential due to genetic diversity resulting from multiple interferences throughout history. This potential is being activated by cosmic energies of transition, creating extraordinary evolutionary opportunities. The most fascinating aspect of Andromedan revelations is their description of Earth as a unique consciousness experiment in the universe. They explain that the result of terrestrial transition will influence evolutionary development of countless other civilizations, making this historical period of cosmic importance. When analyzing various channeling sessions from different extraterrestrial sources around the world, remarkably consistent patterns emerge that transcend cultural and individual differences of channelers. This consistency suggests either a common source of information or a genuine phenomenon of interdimensional communication. All mentioned extraterrestrial groups agree that Earth is going through a fundamental evolutionary transition that affects not only our planet, but has broader cosmic implications. They describe this process as natural and cyclical, occurring at regular intervals of approximately 25,000 years. A universal theme in these messages is emphasis on individual responsibility during transition. Regardless of source, all communications emphasize that each human being must make conscious choices about their evolutionary direction, and that these choices determine not only individual destiny, but success of collective planetary transition. Another consistent pattern is description of extraterrestrial assistance being offered to humanity, but always within parameters that respect human free will. Stellar beings present themselves as mentors and guides, never as saviors or external authorities. Channeling sessions also universally agree that transition involves simultaneous changes at physical, energetic, and consciousness levels. They describe how alterations in dimensional structure of reality are allowing expansion of human perception and access to latent capacities. The unified message that emerges from these diverse sources is hope tempered with urgency. Extraterrestrials, through their channelers, emphasize that humanity possesses potential for extraordinary transformation, but that this potential must be actively chosen and manifested through conscious actions. We have reached the end of this exploration through the most intriguing messages about planetary transition, and what we discovered challenges our conventional perceptions about reality, evolution, and our place in the cosmos. Consistencies between channelers from different countries and cultural backgrounds suggests something much greater than coincidence or collective imagination. The central message that emerges from all these communications is that humanity is experiencing a unique moment in history, a transition period that occurs only once every 25,000 years. Extraterrestrial beings, regardless of their stellar origin, seem unanimously focused on assisting our species during this crucial transformation. The consensus among all sources is that success of this transition depends fundamentally on conscious choices that each individual makes regarding love, compassion, and service to others. This is not a transformation that happens automatically, but requires active participation of a critical mass of human population. Perhaps the most comforting aspect of these messages is the insistence that we are not alone in this process. According to these communications, advanced civilizations from throughout the galaxy are observing and offering respectful assistance to our evolution, recognizing the extraordinary potential of human species. What do you think of these revelations? Do these consistencies between independent channelers represent evidence of genuine communication with extraterrestrial intelligences? Or would they be manifestations of a human collective unconscious processing planetary changes through cosmic symbolism? What is your opinion about the possibility that we are really experiencing a planetary evolutionary transition assisted by advanced stellar civilizations? Leave your perspective in the comments and continue with us on this journey of exploring the deepest mysteries of human existence. If these revelations awakened your curiosity about extraterrestrial phenomena and hidden secrets of our reality, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you don't miss any of our investigations about enigmas that shape our cosmic destiny.